Well, listen, we've gone down this path 1,000 times. It's almost like we are immune to it, but we try again. And that is the unbelievable, I don't want to quote stupidity, but disloyalty that some of these athletes have for particular organizations, and then their explanations thereof when they try to, explain away a dicey spot. Well, I'm going here because I want to grow and sprout as a man, and this is that and the other. And they tell you this on Players Tribune, some asinine horse garbage website that nobody pays attention to. You're not going to have any questions. You think what you think Kevin Durant was going to show up at the Chesapeake in Oklahoma City and do a little Q&A? No, he was not going to do that, because Kevin Durant is going to take the easy way out like a lot of these athletes today do. And Kevin Durant, who I used to love, but I was down on him a couple of years ago when he was all over the media for, among other things, suggesting that they have no opportunity or shouldn't select the MVPs, and basically said the media is not my friend, and, didn't want to look at any kind of relationship with the media. Well, I got news for Durant. I don't want him as a friend if he treats us this way. I'll tell you that. Who wants to hear from Kevin Durant? So here's a guy who did not make a big play with a 7-point lead in Game 6 in his building at 96-89 when that series was about to be adios for Golden State back in May, and Durant could not make a big play. Turnovers, 0 for 3 with 2 turnovers to close the game when he had his OKC team on the threshold of a second finals appearance where they would be nip and tuck with Cleveland, and Durant spit up the bit, and Durant could not make a play. They lose Game 7. They blew a lead at the half, and Durant says goodnight to the 2016 season. And then Durant, who knows as much about the Hamptons as my 8-year-old does, or 10-year-old, decides that he's going to make his weekend getaway, out in Quogue. I mean, Kevin Durant knows as much about Quogue, or that asinine agent of his, or anybody else. What a joke. He's going to go to Quogue now to go do this? East Hampton? Was he at Maidstone this weekend, Kevin Durant? Anyway, to make where Bob Kraft and Tom Brady could jet in at the little East Hampton airport, I've spent many a year. Did they go to Shinnecock? How about Sabonic? Did they go there? I mean, I can name every place you want to know. Southampton, East Hampton, all these little towns. But this is where Kevin Durant decided that he was going to hold down and entertain the 5 or 6 teams and tell us where he was going to basically play for the next year or two. And this idiot, who could not make a play in a big spot, who had a lot of success with Oklahoma City. So what he does, he decides to go on a team that really should have won 2 championships, but had won 73 games and had won a championship before that. So because Jerry West picks up the phone and says you'll get better shots here, Kevin Durant decides to go play for the Golden State Warriors. Oh, my God almighty. I mean, you must be kidding me. This is a guy who about 5 or 6 years ago, when LeBron left Cleveland the first time, put out tweets basically knocking LeBron left and right for joining the enemy, that being Miami. And now Durant is going to do basically the same thing 5 or 6 years later. And now Durant, who, by the way, not won a championship, Durant, who stunk in the Miami series 5, 6 years ago, and Durant, who, again, spit the bit in the end of Game 6. Spit it up, big time. Forget Westbrook. He spit it up, too. But Durant really spit the bit. And so Durant now decides to go play for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, you got to be kidding me. This is where Durant... if you want to leave Oklahoma City because you don't believe in Westbrook, and that might be the reason, have the guts to say it if that's the case. You don't believe in what OKC is trying to do? Fine. Go play for a team. Take a chance. Go to Boston. Go play for them. Go deal with LeBron, in your same conference for 82 games, and then try to get by him in a conference final before you even can play for an NBA championship. Go do it the hard way. Show some guts. Go play for the Celtics. Go ahead. Basically think about Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Johnny Havlicek, Sam Jones. Go think of them. You want to sit there and go to play? I'd respect that some. History, the great city of Boston, all those championships have been down in their way. Brad Stevens, I'm going to bring this. I'd respect that. But going to Golden State, I cannot, under any circumstances, respect. I think it's an absolute sham, and it's a disgrace. And I tell you, I don't know what else to say. And the idea now that, Golden State's going to be some super uber team that the whole world is going to pay attention to, who cares? That's ridiculous. And the worst thing is that Durant had something to say about LeBron going to Miami when, in fact, LeBron went to Miami. But he's doing what worse than LeBron did. Worse. They might have 4 Hall of Famers. Of course they're going to win. They won 73 games this year, and they're replacing Harrison Barnes with Kevin Durant. Of course they're going to win. I mean, gee whiz. There's no suspense in that. There's nothing I hate more in sports. Nothing. Can't beat them, join them. There is nothing that I find more disrespectful and more just, you got to be kidding me. This is what you want to do now? You're that desperate? And that's what Durant did. And that, to me, is just gutless.